Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, October 27th. A lot to talk about this morning. We have a tropical storm over the Yucatan Peninsula region of Mexico. We have heavy snow falling as far south as New Mexico and Texas. Looks like the remains of Zeta will cause a significant rain event for first the Tennessee Valley later in the week and then the Mid-Atlantic region, primarily from Thursday into early Friday. And then by later in the day on Friday, enough cold air will push into the northeastern part of the nation for a possible changeover to accumulating snow in parts of the northeast U.S., places like southern New England, maybe even as far to the south and east as just to the north and west of New York City on Friday. There could be a changeover from rain to snow. So a lot to talk about. Zeta is just about to exit the Yucatan Peninsula region of Mexico. It weakened a little bit as it crossed over that land area of Mexico. Maximum sustained winds right now at 70 miles per hour. Very likely to return to hurricane status, Category 1, after it moves over the warmer waters of the southern Gulf of Mexico. Likely to make landfall later tomorrow in the southeastern part of Louisiana. This is the latest forecast map of the storm track by the National Hurricane Center. Again, situated right now in the coastal region of the Yucatan Peninsula as a tropical storm. It did reach hurricane status late yesterday, Category 1, then weakened a little bit now, just shy of hurricane status. And again, once it moves out over the open waters later today, it's quite likely to return back to Category 1 hurricane status. A northwest turn right now will become more of a north and then northeast. Again, quite likely to make landfall in southeastern Louisiana later tomorrow. Now, Louisiana has been hit by, I believe, 5 different storms, a direct hit by 5 different named storms this season. This would add to that list, and sometimes patterns really repeat themselves, and certainly Louisiana has been the hot spot this year for tropical activity in the Gulf of Mexico. Once it makes landfall, it'll start to turn to the north and east and push all the way up into the Mid-Atlantic region as it begins to accelerate over the latter part of the weekend. Significant rain event coming to the Tennessee Valley and the Mid-Atlantic region and the southern part of New England from Thursday into the early part of Friday. The remnants of Zeta kind of team up with a vigorous upper level low. We'll see that in a moment or two. That same upper level low that is helping to cause a significant snow out across Texas and New Mexico. And again, later Friday, enough cold air will filter in from the north and west and cause a changeover from the tropical rains to accumulating snow in parts of the northeastern U.S. Now, certainly interior sections and higher elevation sections have a better chance than the coastal regions for snow on Friday. Places like the Poconos, the Catskills, the Hudson Valley, decent chance at some snow, maybe even some accumulating snow on Friday. Well, let's take a look at the national radar. This is from WSI's Intellicast.com. The snow is represented here by blue, and look at all this snow across New Mexico and Texas. And this is very unusual to get accumulating snow this time of the year all the way down into that part of the nation. Again, New Mexico and the northern part, the panhandle part of Texas. Significant accumulations in some areas, and this Arctic blast has certainly resulted in plenty of low temperature records, in some cases the coldest temperatures ever seen in the month of October. So again, a very unusual Arctic blast for this time of the year, and it's accompanied by accumulating snow and even some ice, which is represented on this particular radar loop with the pinks. Meanwhile, here is the Yucatan Peninsula region right now. We're now picking up on the radar in this particular viewpoint, but this is where Zeta is, and it will start to make a move out over the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico later today, and then likely head on into the southeastern part of Louisiana, probably as a Category 1 hurricane, and probably during the afternoon to early evening hours on Wednesday. And then it pushes up to the north and east and kind of teams up with a very strong upper level feature out over the southwestern U.S. to produce a significant rain event for the Mid-Atlantic, the Tennessee Valley, and all the way into southern New England from later Thursday into early Friday. This is in fact the type of rainfall that we're looking at here over the next few days. And again, significant rain event coming to the Tennessee Valley, the Mid-Atlantic region, the southern part of New England, all in this area right here, from really the combination of that upper level low, which is right in this region right here, and then tropical moisture moving up in that direction with the advance of Tropical Storm Zeta, again, quite likely to become Hurricane Zeta. So as this pushes to the north and east, it'll team up with this upper level feature, and you can kind of see that here with the outlook for the total precipitation amounts. All of this really associated with that vigorous system in the southwestern U.S., and all of this right here associated with Zeta itself, and kind of combine right over this area to produce, again, potential flooding rains from Thursday into early Friday in the Mid-Atlantic region, southern part of New England right here, and that's after the Tennessee Valley is hit as well with a significant rain event. Well, let's take a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast maps from the 6Z operational run of the GFS, and you really can see this kind of combining of Tropical Storm Zeta with the upper level, the cold upper level low over the southwest U.S. And here that is right in this area right now as we begin the day here on Tuesday. And again, significant snow across New Mexico, the northern part of Texas. And here's a reflection in the upper part of the atmosphere from Tropical Storm Zeta. And watch what happens as they tend to combine here. Look at this, by later tomorrow afternoon, this is about the time landfall is expected across southern Louisiana, probably the southeastern half of Louisiana, right in this region right here. And that strong upper level low closing in from the west, and they tend to kind of coalesce into one strong system by Thursday. And again, this becomes a major rain event right in this region right here, the Tennessee Valley, the Mid-Atlantic region, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, getting significant rain Thursday and early Friday, all the way up into southern New England as this combined storm system becomes quite a powerhouse here. And this is the forecast map by Friday morning. You'll have a strong surface low sitting off the Mid-Atlantic coastline. At the same time, colder air starts to pour in on its northwestern side, likely changing the rain to accumulating snow in parts of the northeast U.S., especially interior, higher elevation locations. Again, places like the Poconos, the Catskills can get accumulating snow on Friday. The Hudson Valley region of not too far north and west of New York City, even down to New York City and the southern New England coastline, there could be some snow later in the day on Friday, and that ultimately results in a cold air mass moving in by Saturday. So Halloween looks like a cold Halloween, maybe 15 degrees below normal in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the northeast U.S. Some places along the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City will hold in the 40s for highs on Saturday, Halloween Day, October 31st, which is well below normal for this time of the year. I think the normal high right now in Philadelphia, for example, is about 63 degrees. May struggle to reach 50 degrees on Saturday afternoon. Well, let's now take a look at the surface forecast maps from the operational run of the GFS at 6E. Lots of colors. That means we're dealing with winter-type precipitation. Here we have some ice, sleet, freezing rain right now occurring across the northern part of Texas. Significant snow for the next several hours in New Mexico, and that'll spill on over where it's ice right now. Could will very likely change over to accumulating snow across Texas over the next few hours. And here is Zeta again, just about to leave the Yucatan Peninsula region, and that'll allow it to intensify over the still relatively warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Again, that Zeta now has caused a tie between this tropical season in the Atlantic Basin and 2005 for the most number of storms and there's a decent chance that we'll get a tie-breaking storm here over the next couple of weeks, even in the month of November. If so, that would make this the Atlantic Basin season with the most number of storms. Let's move forward here. Watch what happens. Zeta, likely hurricane, probably Category 1 status on Wednesday morning, moves into, probably makes landfall near New Orleans, the southeastern part of Louisiana. Again, this has been a repeating pattern this year. I believe this would make the 6th named storm with a direct hit on southern Louisiana. And then it teams up with that very vigorous upper level low to form basically one powerful storm system over the Tennessee Valley as we begin the day on Thursday, where it will be a significant rain event. And then that moves into the Mid-Atlantic region, where it will be a significant rain event all the way into the southern part of New England. And this is from Thursday into early Friday. Notice here to the north and west, this is a cold Canadian high with a cold air mass dropping south and east across the Great Lakes later in the day on Thursday. Then by Thursday night, powerful storm system moves to right around the southern part of New Jersey, or just off the New Jersey coastline. Notice some blue starting to show up here as colder air filters in ahead of this strong, cold Canadian high pressure system. By the time we get to late Friday night, and especially by early Saturday, look at this. We have snow showing up throughout much of the interior part of the northeast U.S., especially the higher elevation areas from, let's say, the Poconos to the Catskills to Hudson Valley region. And accumulations certainly are on the table here. Low pressure at the surface will be centered off the Mid-Atlantic coastline at this time as the colder air filters in, and it then just tends to wind down by Friday afternoon, still with maybe some residual snow, the first of the season across the northeast U.S. And then that cold Canadian high just takes over by Friday night and Saturday. Saturday, October 31st, Halloween Day, we'll have a real cold Canadian high pressure system centered at this time over the interior northeast. A much colder than normal day on Saturday with, again, high temperatures some 15 degrees below normal in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. So a lot going on, from tropical activity to accumulating snow, and a significant rain event coming from the remnants of Zeta combined with a strong upper level low over the Tennessee Valley, Mid-Atlantic region, southern New England from later Thursday into early Friday, and then a changeover to accumulating snow in parts of the northeast U.S. on Friday. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.